So check this, right? My mother works for WorkSource locally, and she deals with people. Do you know what WorkSource is? I don't know. I'm sure.
Not at all. I was literally about to ask.
So you guys definitely have some form of it in where you live, but I don't know what it's called. And WorkSource is a state administration that you can go to. There's buildings in different counties that you can go to help file for unemployment, and they have different classes there for different state aid programs, for like SNAP benefits, and you can like go there and help apply for food stamps. And they also have classes to help you build resumes and help you find jobs and things like that. So they just have employment services there.
Is that like could you colloquially call it like our state's unemployment agency? Is it kind of
you
the same
can, but
purpose?
you can't file for unemployment there, and so I wouldn't want to say that. But because of the type of work they do, they started doing an insane amount of work for unemployment when COVID kicked off. And so my mom, when she started working at home, was like literally working half of the time just filing unemployment claims and helping people process unemployment claims and things like that. So she has told me that since COVID, they have adjusted the classification for what a job seeking activity is, because you used to have a certain amount of job seeking activities every week to keep getting unemployment. You had to file for a certain you had to file or apply for a certain amount of jobs to continue to get unemployment, because you had to show that you were actively seeking for work. But since these things have been adjusted, there are, and I might be able to find, I would doubt it because it's so great that the state would put it out on a piece of paper, but I might be able to try and find a list of, what are considered job seeking activities. My mom had said even creating an account on the WorkSource website is a job seeking activity, and logging on to the
step in the right direction,
is
right?
a job seeking activity.
Everybody gets a trophy.
My mom she's pretty far left. She is pretty progressive, and she's like, this doesn't make any sense. Like this, like that's not helping people get jobs, because she works at WorkSource. So obviously she cares about getting people jobs. She cares about people being employed. When I was growing up, she worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs to support me and my sister, so people having the ability to support themselves is very important to her. So she doesn't work there just because she, loves the state or anything like that. Like I said, she is a leftist, but so when you have someone that is of that political leaning and is working in that job, that's like, this isn't helping people, then something is fucking wrong. I couldn't think of somebody else that would be a better, like canary in the coal mine, or a better bellwether for me of knowing when something has tipped too far, of like, that's it. If she's telling me this is wrong, it would be like Morgan telling me like this gun legislation is fucked up. I would be like, okay, so I know it's really bad if Morgan is telling me that this gun law is fucked. If my mom is telling me that this is not helping people find jobs, then it is really not helping people find jobs.
Yeah. It's like if AOC was to come out and get some kind of benefits program, you go, okay, something's really wrong.
That's fishy. Yeah. So it concerns me. It really concerns me that not only that one of the things they did to adjust the system was to make it a longer process for you to do it. We're just going to give you more steps to do, so you have more time outside of actually looking for a job.
There's so much. Listen, I'm trying not to just think too far. I can spend all day on this. I literally, because like
Washington.
It's not even Washington.
Move back, buddy?
Yeah.
I want you back so bad. We were talking about that pre-show. It's like, I want Larry to move back so bad, but I don't want him to move back because this place is terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I can fit in anymore. Listen, I've been below the line here too much, and and we can get that. Like, I just gotta. Everything you just said is like literally what I consider like the worst aspect of like whatever you think this last adventure, we'll say, in America was. I think the worst thing it's had is like we have an absolute expansion of like our entire governmental infrastructure, right?
Oh,
and
yeah,
so, like,
everything.
Just like you describing that story, the only thing I heard was like a person literally expanded a process so that they can have more money dedicated to them in order to like justify the thing we're doing. And like, is the thing solving the problem? Like your mom was solving a problem. They laid more steps on her, expanded her job. And what I heard was she came out and said, I'm now doing less by doing more. And like that's like the epitome of the government. And like you said that, and like a libertarian, got it. I am who I am, and like my whole entire body just shook with just sadness. It's just the for real like the worst part, and no one sees like it. Like you guys have all heard the story about boiling the frog, and I'm just always like, all right, it's just they're just boiling the frog, and like now, like. Well, like what have we done? Like we're literally atrophying the ability for people to go out and do the thing. And I'm sure your mom does a great job, right?
Yeah,
but like as we push it further down the spectrum, it's just making us all weaker. Like I literally, like for example, like when you were talking about like people like get a job and you're like, oh yeah, the life's hard, and you're like you were trying to be like sensitive with it, right? To like you basically be like, hey, like I understand that your job might be hard. I'm wondering, when do we just become meaner? Like, I'm wondering at what point do I say, because like I get it, like the military is not fun at all, but like every day I get up and go to work, right?
Yeah.
Literally wake up at 5, I'm in at 5:30, and I literally work sometimes till 8 o'clock, like regularly till 8 o'clock. And you just work, right? And like I look at people like talking about unions and days, all of it, and I'm just like, at what point do you say like just put it together? And then just like on Colin, he was just like, the thing you like is everyone doing their gig, right? Their gig like lifestyle, like starting their side hustles. I like that program, but feeding back in, I don't like people doing that at the cost to the government. Like I want people to like you run a business, and you know if you don't perform, you're not doing X, right? You're not going to eat, you're not going to have your house, you're not going to do anything fun. Oh yeah. But like you're going to wear that on your chest. I don't think through this COVID period, like I think a lot of people were like, hey, I'm an unemployment, I'm running a business, but then going down and collecting unemployment. I think that's fraudulent. Oh yeah. And like it's just so frustrating for me, because like now that you have a business but you can collect unemployment, like you have no incentive to go find a job, because all you're doing is playing on your computer, pretending to take a picture, and being like, oh, okay, this is my 9 to 5. And I'm just like, and it drives me insane, because like again, I start a side hustle, but again, I have a whole ass other W-2 in order to be sufficient enough to then run the business, right? And so like I just feel like we're taking away, and it's ultimately going to cost us in the end. Like I don't think we're losing such a competitive edge. And we talk about like the whole participation trophy thing. I literally think we're extending that out to business, where like business is literally supposed, like you don't have to change it, because everything you do in business is literally like the feedback system's there. If no one wants to come work with me to do taxes, I'm a shitty tax person. And I just feel like people have been able to be like, well, I haven't found it there, right? And so they get to chase their dream, staying it, put entrepreneur in their fucking bio, and then still be like, hey, I'm getting my $400 a month or $400 a week, which is insane to me. It was insane. And so like, just to push back against that, like I like people scratching their own itch. I just don't think we're actually scratching our itch. I want to see where we're at in January. Do people still want to have a business in January when there's nothing? We're on the other side, or shit in next November. If Kunipek, who's that rated or polls organization with the Q?
Quinnipiac, yeah,
there you go. If they're right, and we're about to sway to the other side, you know what I mean? Like it's still as fun there, and I just want people to then sacrifice, work that job, support yourself, then do the side hustle, not do the side hustle whilst having the government support you, because then like we haven't cultivated anything.
That's a very good point, because when I was talking about like those side gigs and stuff like that, I didn't factor in the fact that a lot of the people were being able to offset their income and take advantage of that opportunity to start 100%. The side gig, right? And that
after the first package, and just to, I'm not trying to go ahead, just to frame what you're talking about, just so anybody's like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Oh yeah,
during the first infrastructure package they did, or infrastructure, I keep fucking doing that,
right?
During the first COVID relief package, there was an adjustment to the CARES Act. There was an adjustment to the unemployment system, unemployment insurance, so that if you were a gig worker or if you were self-employed, that's so they came with like the $600 or $400 of the baseline of this is what you're going to get no matter what, and they raised that up, and so you were able to receive unemployment if you were previously not in a classically employed job.
Well, because it removes the incentive, right, from the classic way that a person would break into the gig market, if you will, because like you said, you work your ass off all day long, and then you come home and you do your gig work, right? We both have full-time jobs that we work our asses off, and then we come home and then we do our gig work, right? 100%. And now we're actually making money off of that gig work, which is a beautiful thing, thanks to somebody over there. Hey,
read that book in 9 days with the 2.5
9 days.
9 days
yeah.
wrote a book with a 2.5-year-old.
And actually, let me just put this little insert into this here, a sidebar. I think, because we're going to talk about this a little bit, or we're going to talk about that book a lot today. But I think once I finish the audiobook, I think we should do a side recording for patrons only and post that up there where we just talk about the book, kind of like a book review, if we will. I think that would be a fun thing for patron only content.
And I do have to interrupt you. If that's okay, you can finish your thought if you're gonna lose it. I don't want to lose you, but
I already lost, baby.
I forgot to set.
I was spinning my wheels, anyways.
I forgot to set my timer, so I just have to throw it in there because it's been over the 37 minutes. I just want to throw it up real quick that we obviously all these things going on. We have that was a terrible transition. You're watching us here on YouTube, Salt of the Streets. Thank you very much for joining us. We have our Facebook, fuck Facebook at Salt of the Streets, our Instagram at Salt of the Streets. We have our own personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. Calling us a Big Bird Offie on both those things. We also have our still brand new patreon.com/Salt of the Streets. You go there. So the tier, subscribe, help us continue to make good and better content. Lexi Kayo on Twitch, so you can watch Colin's wife do some Twitch streaming. My wife, Leggings and Aprons on Instagram. She's making all those cakes. They're beautiful. saltofthestreets.com for all this information. Larry the Tax Man, Atlas A&T, is that what it is?
Yeah, Atlas Accounting and Tax Solutions.
Atlas A&T, so you can look up Larry, see if he'll take you on as a client if you're fucking lucky.
If you're lucky.
But we do know this man is a hustler, so he may just take you on. I believe that is everything.